All right, everybody, we are back. Been gone 2 weeks. Don't lie. I know you missed us. But Rooster went through some incredible plastic surgery, right? Nah, just joking. That ain't actually Rooster. So this is Rooster to give you some heads up. We took 2 weeks off because I know some of you guys sent me some messages. We're still learning. I didn't even know those messages were there for like 4 days. I couldn't figure out what they meant, but finally got in there. So took 2 weeks off from our last podcast and posting a lot of things. I had to set some of the internals up on the inside of the YouTube because we were getting a lot of stuff wrong in there, but we got that all set up and better. Rooster's actually on a 2-week job out in Las Vegas, working 16-hour days. So he will be back soon. However, we have expanded the channel and we are bringing in some talent that's going to be a regular content contributor to the channel. I'm going to turn it over to him straight out of the void. He reminds me of one of the members out of Time Bandit, the creator, right? I don't know if you ever seen that movie. Right?
The small people, right?
Exactly. Yeah. No, like the head that was coming out,
the
bro.
The guys that come out, right?
Yeah, no, that was like the creator that was chasing them around, right? Like, so straight out of the void. Jay, introduce yourself, buddy. Tell us about it. Tell our 428 subscribers we're on our way to 1,000. Tell them about yourself,
growing, right? I'm an amateur writer and futurist. I do a lot of research and have a real interest in any kind of legends and lore that tie into science and how we see ourselves. So, like, a lot of the things I write are from a human perspective, right? And kind of looking at humanity and how it interacts with technology and what that looks like, right?
And good at it. Yeah, really good at it too. Like, it's good at
getting there, right? It's always about mastering, right?
Yeah, and so he's also selling himself a little bit short. I've known this dude for coming up on 30 years, right? 30 years. First guy to ever teach me how to make a sawed-off shotgun, right there, sitting right there next to you. He was in the military with me. Jay knows his way around the outdoors. No stranger to the 2A amendments. Likes his guns, likes his beef jerky, and likes his vape, and likes to write really interesting stuff. So as the channel grows, whatever he produces, we'll pump out there and get into it. So
yeah, we'll see what's coming on next.
Yeah, can't wait. So actually, so Jay's got an interesting topic for us tonight. Jay, I'm gonna let you walk it down. I'd never heard about this, and that's a good thing because now that I've heard about it, it's kind of freaky. So you know how we do around here,
right? So, in doing what I do and doing research into humans, right? The next piece I'm writing, I have to figure out how to create a new society, right? So by extension, you kind of look at what we've done. And so I came across some stories about Neanderthals. You know how we were taught in school, like, I mean, not to date ourselves or anything like that. You already did it, but whatever. Long time ago,
no, I look
we were
good,
in
though,
school.
man. I look good, man.
Right? At least you still got your hair. Yeah, so when they used to teach us in school, we kind of skipped over it, right? We all saw the chart.
Yeah.
The man from the monkey on one side and the upright dude, or the dude sitting at the computer at the other side, right? Yeah, I mean, everybody's seen that picture, and that's about as deep as we got.
Right.
Right. I mean, I don't know if like you went to school like I did in the South.
Oh yeah.
It's not really something that we touched on the surface.
So yeah, so like Rooster and I have talked several times about our amazing Southern education.
Right? Cheers, right?
our amazing Southern education.
So yeah, so we just kind of skim over it, and you just think of these guys as like smiling caveman dudes, right?
Yeah, and then not to cut you off too, but to add some more context to that too. Like when you told me this story, it got me to thinking too. Like, you're so right, because even when you go to the Smithsonian, they're in there smiling, playing in the mud. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like drawing, like with their finger in the mud, right? Look, look.
Got the guy painting the cave exactly. with his charcoal, right?
Cute little cave painting going on and stuff like that. Yeah, look how cute. Who doesn't want one of these walking around? Right? So yeah. But then that leads us into
right?
Yeah. Put my phone on mute. Sorry about that.
It was this thing I saw was a different perspective, right? Like, what if they weren't quite as nice as we thought they were, right? I mean, they were. There were what? At least 3 that I can name offhand of different human-like species existing all at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Like they had Denisovans and Floriensis, like the Hobbit people that they talk about, and so like I feel like they got to have gotten a war at some point, competing for resources.
And so check this out too. Do you remember that movie called Clan of the Cave Bear?
Yeah, it was a long time ago,
that's
man. That was even before our time.
That's before VHS. That's a deep pool right there, right?
Right, Daryl Hannah.
That's a deep pool right there. But so in that movie, Clan of the Cave Bear, remember they're talking exactly what you're talking about, man. Like I think it was pre-Diluvian man, basically depicted looking like us, facial features and blue eyes or whatever. Came across like those cavemen guys, right? You remember what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So
yeah, that was a crazy movie.
Yeah.
And then you brought up the whole blue-eyed thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Evident, like because of our advanced ability to look at genetics, we've figured out that it traces all back to one female.
Yeah.
Right. Anyone with blue eyes can trace their lineage back to one specific female. I don't know, what was it, like a long time ago?
Yeah.
Thousands of years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
But still, I mean, that kind of like, it makes you wonder, right? We came across Neanderthals and this thing that I saw, like, it wasn't friendly. What if they weren't friendly? If they were like super not friendly? These things were strong and huge.
Yeah, so
like, they would have just moved around like bowling pins.
So yeah, and when you told me this story last night, when you and I were chatting about it too, it got my mind to thinking too. Is that there are stories? I want to say they're in Michigan. Trust me, the people that watch this in the comments will let us know when we're off base, right? Especially especially in our shorts, right?
Best way to get corrected is say something wrong.
Yeah. So that's why I don't give a care. So I think it's north. I know it's Northeast America, right? They have these tales, man, of what they call the wild man. I can't remember what state it comes out of, but it's definitely it's not to be crossed over with Bigfoots or dogmen or anything like that. They're specifically called like
something completely a different category, not a Sasquatch,
right? Called like
not a Bigfoot.
They call him like the wild man, right? And
okay.
So that's when you got me to thinking like that too, right? So you and I were talking. First of all, back in the day, right? Like I mean, that's back. Like we like getting off the grid, right?
Really far back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's like there ain't no even grid to get off. You're on the grid that's the grid, right? And everything wants to kill you, right? Animals. Right. Other tribes, you got to think that food and women are the commodity of the day, and by hook or crook or rock or spear, that's what they went for, right? So my thing is that, yeah, man, these guys, man, were like, and we can see by their anthropology when they don't have them being all nice and friendly and they're like drawing on on the tape. These guys must have been jacked, bro. They had a pure protein diet. All they did was fight.
Well, not only that, but
yeah.
Like, think about this. We used
horses?
to eat each other. Like humans used to eat each other.
Right.
Like just 2 people on the different sides of the river,
right,
would like kill each other and eat each other. So like, what would you think that something completely different and stronger would do?
Yeah, we got these pointy teeth. We got these canine teeth from somewhere. right.
Right.
We weren't eating plants out off the jump. But yeah, so that's when I was looking at the research you sent over, man. I started looking at it, and I was going back, and I was thinking to myself that you didn't get old back then. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't age.
No,
right? Like, I mean, there was
really.
Yeah, there was a like.
Yeah, it wasn't heart disease or Alzheimer's that was going to end you back then.
Right, you ain't talking to Nana in the corner. You know what I'm saying? Like
right. No.
there's a shelf life for people back then, and I was like, man, and you know, we never even like, you know, everybody wants to talk to, you know, we know people that, you know,
Right.
that will tell you that sun flares are on the way, EMP pulse is coming, stock up on your Patriot supply, this, that, and the other, or whatever. Back then, shelter was where you found it. You had to follow. It had to have been like, it had to have been, even by the cave paintings, bro. Like they obviously followed the caribou or whatever they were hunting back there, right?
Whatever big game.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the big game,
Yeah.
game was the source of protein.
Yeah, and they weren't the only ones following it. So you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so those guys must have
So
been
taking
like,
resources and all that stuff, right?
yeah, man. So
Like nowhere for them to not end up crossing paths.
yeah, nowhere. And
Being
so
too similar.
and so it got me to thinking as well, man. Like you triggered some more thoughts in there. Is like we like to think that okay, with like our superior intellect, we could easily fight a caveman and win. You've clearly never tried to wrestle a Rottweiler, right?
Right.
right. Like, yeah,
I can fight a bear, right? I'm willing to fight a bear.
yeah.
I've heard that come out of somebody.
Yeah, bears got
Somebody
like,
near and dear, right?
what's that?
I've heard that come out of somebody near and dear to ours mouth, right?
Yeah,
I've heard somebody say that. Yeah, one of our mutual friends. I can fight a bear. I can do it.
Yeah.
I will win too.
yeah. No, you ain't winning.
No, you don't.
So look, man. So
All right,
like, so I'm 6 feet tall, man. I'm 185 pounds. Jay's 190, 5'11", 5'6" feet tall. Same thing around there.
Yeah, I'm
Rottweiler.
about 5'10", 200.
Okay, so even better, lower center of gravity. Man, a Rottweiler
Yeah,
is 2 feet tall, 150 pounds. They will tear your ass up. You understand? Right? So like, with just mouth, right?
Well,
So like, even then, man.
right.
Yeah, cavemans with rocks and sticks. You know, size matters, y'all. You know what I'm saying, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
It ain't
And
the
then
size.
so you wonder, like, being hunted like that by something so similar to yourself,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Where does that take your brain? Like, where do those stories end up, right? Because that's what I'm interested in. Like, how do you figure that out? How do you really figure that out?
yeah, bro. And they can't be as dumb as we think they were and live. They
Right.
can't be
Right.
they can't be mindless. You know, they had to know
So
things.
at
Right?
some point we won, right?
True.
At some point we were the ones that won out.
Right.
And
Probably chicken pox got them.
like,
Some shit.
what's interesting about right chickenpox?
Some disease.
What's
got 'em.
interesting about what's interesting about humans is we tell stories,
Mm.
right? So like my thought is this: all of these monsters in the dark hunting us have kind of like just pushed it forward into our brains, and because it happened for so long, it's just permanently there, right?
Yeah.
So all these monsters we see in the dark, they're like echoes of that first monster,
Yeah.
right?
No, that's a great point. That's a really good point because you ever seen a video if you lay a plastic snake around a cat? You ever seen those?
No, I've never seen that.
Look, man. So look, they're cruel, but hilarious.
Uh-huh.
Or they're hilarious, right? Like, so look,
Hey, it's not
Anybody
cool if
watch
the cat
it-
doesn't get hurt, so it's all good.
anybody watch this, go on YouTube, go on Instagram, go on TikTok and type in fake snake and cats. You can lay down a tube sock behind a cat, a stuffed
Uh-huh.
tube sock. It will, and a cat, once the cat see it, it thinks it's a snake. It jumps up so hard, and I mean they're hilarious. I'm saying these cats are like, man, they're breaking records with these height jumps, right? But it is hilarious to watch these cats jump up, and it's exactly what you said. Yo, how bad were these snakes terrorizing these cats back in the day that even today, when's the last time a house cat saw a snake? Never.
Right?
Right?
But
Never.
it's just embedded in their heart, though, right?
His head, man, right? Like, bro, yeah. Like, what did they see?
It's
What
not, like,
happened?
what was the size of the snake that was coming after them, right?
Exactly, right? Right, like, yo, so what were you doing? And so, like, and even this, but I saw a really good video too. And so this plays into heavy to your theory, man, as well, is that how animals evolved, right? And so a snake They also they I did see this one video in there of this cat. It was a orange like tabby cat, right? And there was this green gardener snake that this lady was videoing, right? And I guess some people have a lot of time on their hands, and they calculated how fast the snake can strike. It's like 1.77 millimeters per foot per something or whatever, right? Bro, a cat can go 1.3. Like, so it is literally a cat paw strike is just the exact speed amount quicker than a snake to slap the crap out of it. And so like, I was like, whoa. So it happened so fast. The little gardener snake went at this cat so fast, but when the cat went pow, it happened so fast. You can't even make it out in regular speed.
Right? You can't even see the paw.
Boom.
You need to slow it.
It was a blur, right? And the cat was doing this, man. It was like leaning back, like I said, right, and just smacked it out, right? So yeah, to answer your question, or to add more to the great theory that you have, is that what back in the day literally made us scared of the dark, right? Like we were talking, like even babies are scared of the dark, and they don't even know why. They've seen no scary movies. They don't know. I say a baby will walk off a cliff and climb into a fire, literally a fire, right? Right? We'll grab a hot stove or whatever, right? And not even know it. Put a kid in a room and turn the lights off and watch him lose it or her lose it. Watch him lose it, right? So.
Yeah, it's this totally ingrained, like, because, I mean, we close our eyes and go to sleep, and that's darkness.
Right.
So that's not scary. As long as we're programmed kind of to go to sleep in full darkness.
Better.
Right. So it's just it's almost like this selective, specific fear of darkness.
Yeah. And so
that's what's so weird about it, right?
Yeah. And then I had never given that any thought until we talked last night too. And then you said something else, right? So the theory coming around, was that, I'll go back 15,000 years, 15,000 BC, 17,000 years ago, the Younger Dryas happened, right? And then we'll just say, but that was when the Great Flood took place, right? But before that happened, we have, the earth is so old. Don't try to tell me that, again, you Egyptians didn't build the pyramids. You didn't do it. You found it. Put it out there again right now. Right? The stone, you didn't do it. All right? You didn't do it. It's in your face. You didn't do it. So civilization must be much, way much older than that. Like you said, rise and fall, rise and fall, rise and fall. Bro, so, you had told me that we'll just pick one of many, 3 or 4 probably we'll just call them world enders, right? Where people had to go underground. And not for like a week. We're talking about like 4 generations you had to live in the ground, right?
Years.
What was in that dark, right? What was in that dark?
Right.
That freaked you out, right? Yeah, that freaked you out, right? Because again, Jay grew up in the South as well, and again, we've had this conversation. There are cave systems that I know of personally that run all the way down the Appalachian. I mean, you can just drive up 81 and can't go more than 5 miles, like Shenandoah Caves, those caves, those caves, that caves, or whatever, whatnot. So, and when you lean into every single, this is going to be a podcast that we're going to do, man. Every single culture has a name for a half man, half serpent, half snake. They call them the Naga in India. Japan call them Japanese. You can't South Colombians, right, have them.
Right.
The Irish have them. Everybody, so you can't get any farther apart than Colombia and Japan. South America, you can't do it, right? And so they all have different names, and they describe these Nagas and serpent people or whatever. And the Indians do the best job of describing them. They call them the Nagas, right? They can shapeshift.
Yeah.
People eaters, live under the ground, whatever. So,
then we get into this thing that happens, right?
Yeah.
And so, did you ever play when you were a kid? Did you ever play the telephone game? Are you familiar with that?
No. What is that?
So when I was a little kid in grade school, one of our teachers had us play the telephone game, and she would stand at one end and she would line everybody up in a single file line.
Oh, okay.
And she would stand at one end and she would write something on a piece of paper.
Mm.
And then she would show it to the first kid. And then that kid had to read it, remember it, turn around, and whisper it into the one behind him.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the line was another kid with a paper and a pencil, and they would write down the thing that finally got to them. And dude, I tell you what, 9 times out of 10, this thing and this thing are completely different or very weirdly evolved into something else.
Yeah. So now we used to do that back in the thing, like we whispered on it. We wouldn't call it a telephone game, but you're right, man. It would always be something like, it takes 365 days to complete a year. And at the end of it, it's like, yo, Jay's eating peanut butter and jelly in the lunchroom at 2. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, like the cat is brown and it's like a dog ate the apple. You know, it's completely different, right?
Yeah,
so
it's so far apart.
What's fascinating to me is like, you've got if you really kind of just step back at the 10 or 15,000 foot view of a lot of the, we'll call it lore from cultures all over the world. You take the 10,000 foot view, and there's a lot of similarities. And there's been a billion, Discovery specials and YouTube videos and whatever, right? We don't have to reiterate that. Like, there's a heck of a lot of similarities, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
What's fascinating to me is like, what if it all originated from one story, and this is just 10,000 different versions because it took that long to tell it, right?
Yeah. And so a perfect example of that too is what we're going to get into in a little bit, man, is that the Native Americans in North America, they tell a tale that is exactly out of the Book of Enoch. Sky people came down, mated with their women, and came out of, these are Cherokee telling this story, right? And so Enoch was I mean, like, I don't even know if he was a Hebrew back then. I mean, he was somewhere over in the Middle East, right?
So, yeah, I mean, that's so.
And he was directly
out
of
those fascinating things, right? Like, so you've got this guy who has this. The Book of Enoch. There's a reason why it's not in the Catholic Bible, right? It reads like a freaking science fiction novel, right?
Yeah. And
it sounds like a First Contact story.
And I tell you what,
gone wrong.
No. So I tell you what, so a lot of people think that, they'll give you guys a little bit of context on this right now. The King James Bible is not the oldest Christian Bible. The Ethiopian Bible is about 600 years older than the King James Bible. The Ethiopian Bible has the Book of Enoch right after the Book of Genesis, where we took it out. The Book of Genesis makes a lot more sense with the Book of Enoch stuck in there to go across, to do it on this or whatever.
A little bit more context.
Yeah, so imagine exactly. Imagine reading Game of Thrones and ripping out every third chapter.
Well, not even that, just taking out, so what did it have? 7 seasons? You take out basically 4 and 5 seasons, 4 and 5. Game of Thrones, just take it out.
Yeah,
just don't watch it.
And no wonder it's so
confusing. Like, now everybody's killing each other and people are dead.
Yeah, where'd that person go? And so also too, fun fact: the Ethiopian. This is for you guys out there. Ethiopia they've rejected everything from the West. They actually have a 13-month calendar, not a 12-month calendar. And if you land in Ethiopia, your cell phone will automatically revert back to 1996. So for fun, go ask what the date is in Ethiopia. It'll be today's date, like minus X amount of years or whatever, right? As soon as you leave, your phone will click back on it, right? It's pretty cool.
Back to regular.
Yeah, because
so little Marty McFly action.
Yes, so.
Only I could go back to the 90s, right?
Yeah, man. That was when it was fun. You know what I'm saying? Right?
Yeah, right.
So, the lineage behind that is that I think a queen from.
It was so there's a big Christian.
Yeah,
a queen from the Queen of Ethiopia.
The Queen of Ethiopia went to Jerusalem, paid her homage. King Solomon married her, gave her a son, took it back, and then
Right.
the rumor currently is right now that Solomon lost his way towards the end. He was lust got him. He had like over 800
Right.
wives. He brought all these pagan religions in. God decided, to hey, look, you know what? Enough. He's done with it. So that kid, his kid, supposedly went. This is what the
This is the Ethiopian perspective.
Yeah, he went back and got that ark and brought it back to Ethiopia, and it's supposedly in a temple down there in Ethiopia, right? So that's where the Christianity eventually sprung out from. When Jesus came around, they didn't doubt; they just went right down the lineage and do it on that, right? So if you want the oldest Bible, it's the Ethiopian Bible that has all the chapters in there, man. So
the popes, they did. I can't remember the year. It was in the 1400s or something like that, where they the Catholic Church of the time went through the book and were like, well, let's settle on a book that we kind of approve of, right? They took all the writings and
I think that was
kind of condensed.
Yeah, I think that was referred to as the Council of Messina. I think that's what that.
Yeah, I believe so.
And they went in there and and they just willy-nilly they don't need this. Well, they don't need this.
Well, I mean, to be fair, think about it. If you're a 15th century, whatever, 15th century pope, or a 15th century religious dude, and you read the Book of Enoch, right. And it's talking about angels mating with humans.
Yeah.
I feel like you might be taken a little aback and be like, well, we probably shouldn't tell people about this.
Yeah.
It might cause a stir, right?
Right. Yeah. So, as a matter of fact, the justification, you're absolutely right. Their justification was, and look, any of you Catholics out there, we're not, if we wanted to go with you Catholics, man, if we wanted to go with you Catholics, there's a lot more we could choose from, right? We're just talking about what we're talking about is historical here. He felt that he was giving them too much information. They felt that was too much information to give, right? Because I don't know why, but they felt that it was too much information for them to give or to get out to the people, so they just pulled it out. But YouTube has destroyed that. Now everything comes out, man,
right.
and you can't hide all this other stuff. And there is not to get my Zen on here, but there is what I would say an awakening currently taking place right now, where all the lies are being exposed. And you know what? Some of these lies, just to make people happy, they could have been for a good reason, right? You could have been lying to us for a decent reason at the time, but.
So here's the thing. This is the best analogy I can always come up with for humans, right? You wouldn't want to give a 3-year-old a hand grenade,
true.
Right?
Yeah.
So in some respects, I understand.
They got to be 5, man. They got to be 5.
Yeah, they got to be at least 6, right? 5 or 6. They got to have that strength to pull that pin out, right?
Pull that pin out, man.
You don't want it going off too soon. You got to get away. There are at some point, I understand. We probably keep the secret to a certain extent. Some secrets are protective,
right?
But I think at this point, humanity's grown up enough to be able to conceptualize that there is the possibility of something that isn't us, right?
Right.
The probability that there is high, just by the nature of the sheer magnitude of
the size alone, man.
Everything we've found so far, right? Just scientific evidence of the flat plane of existence, the Earth coin sitting on the flat plane of existence, right?
Right.
I'm just kidding.
No. Hey, hold on, man. Look, man, these flat earthers will go hard on you here, dog. I know.
Sorry. No, with all the vast stuff that we have found, right?
Right.
There's got to be something else. Even if it's just a field mouse equivalent somewhere else, it's probably there, right?
Yeah. And so, man, you're so true, man.
The problem is getting there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the question being, right? Like the Book of Enoch describes what could be described as a first contact scenario, right?
Yeah.
It also could be a description of through mouth to mouth to mouth to mouth encounters with tribes of Neanderthals from hundreds or 10,000 years ago that have just kind of, because where does the origin start? If these people have always been telling these tales to each other, how far back do those tales actually go?
Yeah. No,
Right.
that's a great point. And then it also, too, when you go in there's that whole about the Book of Enoch when it goes back. I mean, if you read Genesis, it clearly will tell you that when God created man, it says they were men already on the earth, men of great renown. So like something was here when we got put into the garden and we got created or whatever. Something was here. And I have an interesting theory, man, that goes over like a Babe Ruth in a swimming pool. Is that look? So
Yeah, right.
I think this is my opinion, and I've said it, this will be about the third time I've said it on one of our podcasts. Wrap your mind around this. It's all true. It's all true. I won't even go into our universe. Let's just stay within our little grouping of planets, man. There is life everywhere. The first word for vampire came out of Babylon, right? Back when they just supposedly using the cuneiform tablets to write things down. Why are they writing about a vampire, right? Where'd that come from? Werewolves coming out of Ireland and Scotland, right? And like so, and why do they call certain weeds wolfsbane? For I mean, like, where did all this come from, right? Same thing too when you look now that you hear that NASA was tinting the atmosphere in Mars to make it look orange. And this one dude blew my mind the other day. He posted a picture saying, "Here's my
atmosphere."
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
Did you hear about
Rewind
that?
for a minute.
Yeah.
I did not hear about that. Okay, wait. NASA is tinting the atmosphere on Mars to make it look orange.
Yeah, right. So like, and then they're leaking these ones out, and it's actually blue. Yeah, it's actually blue. Now, and
Mars is blue. We've got a giant canopy?
I don't know, man. Right.
Like, is it a bunch of dudes?
So like when you
reflective.
look at it, right? Like when you look at it, it's you can see it's red, right? You see it like blinking, right? Like orange back there, right? But they're saying that's the sand.
Go back in your backyard with a big telescope and look at it. It's pretty red.
Yeah. So they're saying that's the sand. But when you're on, so the Mars rover, when it's down there looking up, it's blue. So like once you're on there looking out, it's a blue sky. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, because that's
you're on the inside, right?
what the sky looks like.
So yeah, so I don't know. But then this guy posted this video the other day, and he was like, he said, this is my car after 2 months, and it's like covered in like dirt. And he shows the Mars rover, like, who's cleaning this thing? You know, this thing looks like it's brand new, right? I'm just like, yeah, man, why is that not covered in crap, right? But anyways, but look, so going back to it, man.
Didn't one of them die because it did get covered in crap?
I didn't know there was two up there. I just thought it was the same one. Look, man, I don't even follow that stuff, right?
I'm pretty sure we had two of them, and I'm pretty sure we lost one because it got covered in dust.
So yeah, so there you go. If somebody watching this, help us out. Go post in the comments below, man. Who's cleaning the Mars rover? But then, so when I go and I look at this stuff and people start talking, man, so that's my own personal thing, man, that there's life is everywhere, man. Everything that we hear about, man, that people talk about. So tell me today, hubris or human arrogance, we like to think we got everything figured out. Jay, what happened today in Roswell, New Mexico, out in the middle of the desert? What happened today?
Today?
Yeah, today.
I have no idea.
Yeah, me neither. Jay, what happened in the middle of the Jersey Pine Barrens out there, 7,000 acres where no man ever goes?
Yeah,
right?
right.
We don't have everything figured out, y'all, right? We don't. So I personally believe.
You look at Google News.
Yeah, right.
You gotta be worried there for a minute.
No. I'm just making a point. Like I couldn't tell you what happened one county over.
Oh, no.
Yeah. What happened in the mall today? I don't know, right? And so
think about just how much archaeological evidence we really do have.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we have stuff, but there's a lot of evidence, and there's a lot of like we've got it kind of down, but there's so much there's so many parts of the earth, and there's so much we're finding every day that we're wrong about.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got to keep an open mind. You know, I'm not saying, you know, you got to keep a Bigfoot came in and sat in my kitchen and drank tea with me, open mind, but you know, it's possible.
But so yeah,
right?
but I mean, don't fall for everything like I do.
But yeah, you're right. Life, even science, people expect stuff, right? Life is pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, but funny story.
Found it in.
Let me tell them a funny story about you though. Yeah. So funny story about me and this guy right here, right?
Funny story about.
So I don't know if you remember the story or not, man. We were in my townhouse way back in the day, man. I showed you my 9mm and I pulled it out and I had silver hollow tip rounds in there, and I said, "Yeah, man, for the vampires." And you were like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah."
Like for the werewolls? And you're like, "Yeah,
really?
okay.
Yeah, man, really? Yeah,
right,
really.
Whatever.
It's got to be clean. It's got to be clean, right?
It's got to be clean. Make sure we gotta, cover all contingencies, right?
Hey, look, man, it's better to have it and not need it, man. You know what I'm saying? So look, good news is if you come to my house and I got to put some hot rounds in you, they're pure silver hollow points. You'll be fine.
Yeah. No, it'll be totally fine.
You'll be fine. Yeah,
they're hypoallergenic.
You're not gonna get lead poisoning from these, man. You're good, man.
Yeah,
you're good. You're good.
One thing you won't have to worry about.
No infections, man. No infections. But yeah, man, to back your point up though too, man. Like me and this guy literally took a trip one time, man. It took us 2 weeks from Japan to Australia, remember? And just ocean. Every day we would go out and it would be ocean. And I thought to myself, man, like, yo, this is where a megalodon would be. We don't know. No one's ever going here. You know what I'm saying? For real. Check this out, man. So I know we got some captain. I call them the captain literals, or the literal police will come at us. Look, outside of a shipping lane, right, or a known route. When is anybody just going to just break off and just head out to the middle of the freaking nowhere in the Indian Ocean, right?
Yeah, right. I don't know. I feel like that is a really big space of water.
Huge.
You know what I mean?
Huge.
Like the Pacific Ocean, you don't get the true kind of grasp of it. Like we stood on the deck of the ship and we're like, you just spin around and there's nothing but just flat water.
Yeah.
Right.
And you can't see very far because it does this.
Right. Yeah, it starts to curve a little bit. Anyway.
Let's curve a little bit, right?
How deep that stuff is, right? And just how far down, and they're just now finding stuff down there that like they had no idea was there. I think I saw a news story the other day about these giant superstructures on the bottom of the ocean that they found.
Really?
Like just big rock formations, right?
Yo.
But like we didn't know about that until like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, no. So and so true, right? And how deep can we go in a sub without it turning into a Pepsi can? Right?
Depends on who built it.
Oh, that's too soon, dog. Too soon, bro. Too soon, bro. But yeah, so how deep can we go?
Well, if you build one in a metal, I'm pretty sure you can go pretty far down.
Right.
James Cameron built one, and he got back. So I imagine that one was pretty good.
Right.
I mean, I can look it up.
No, I mean, they'll have to look it up, man. But I'm saying, look at the.
I'm curious. How far down did James Cameron go?
Yeah. So that took thought and effort and money and energy to go into it, right? And he explored what? A small section.
That's a record-setting dive.
Record-setting dive?
That was a record-setting dive, and it was 35,000 feet.
Yeah, come on, man. How tall is Everest? 32,000 feet.
How tall is Mount Everest? $29,000 feet. Yeah, so the equivalent.
So basically, we can go.
Get the equivalent down.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't know shit. You know what I'm saying? We don't.
So we have like a belt. We have a belt of 60,000 feet that we know pretty well.
Yeah. That's in there. That's our
All the
wheelhouse.
rest is a myth.
That's it, man. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
60,000 feet. We're good.
That's our zone right there, man. That's it. So, yeah, man. So don't tell me, man, that we got everything figured out, man. And then again, like, don't even get me started, man, about the Amazon jungles or the jungles of Colombia or the jungles of Cambodia or the steppes of Russia, where and we don't even get me started about where we don't even go, where we don't even care to go,
Right.
where nobody wants to go. Get out of here.
They keep finding forests and caves in China, right?
It had its own ecosystem. Like literally, it was so big. Like it had its own weather.
And it was beautiful.
It had its own weather. It was amazing,
Yeah.
right? So yeah.
Yeah.
All I know is the Earth is round and the Egyptians didn't build the pyramids. You can fact that, stamp that on it, stamp that, son. Right? So stamp that, right? And then the rest of it, man, it's up for grabs, dude. And then yeah, man, the Neanderthal, your theory, man, is fascinating, right? And
The shadow. It's the first boogeyman, I think, right?
Gotta be
like
right.
the original like vampire, werewolf, monster, thing in the dark that was scary, right?
Yeah, had to have been right. Like and so you
That's
know,
what I feel.
and we're comfortable. Me and you and I are comfortable in the outdoors. So is Rooster, right? We're comfortable being outside in the outdoors, right? But if you're new to the outdoors, you will hear some weird stuff that's just a fox. You know what I'm saying? Just making like some weird noise, right?
I got a great story for you, but
right, go ahead, tell me.
I was down visiting my sister in Georgia, and I was outside late at night, just kind of taking a break, walking around, kind of getting some air, because I haven't lived in Georgia in a long time, so that South Georgia heat will get to you in the summertime.
Yeah, it will.
And
little wet. That wet heat.
little. I don't even know why you bother to shower, because as soon as you shower, you walk outside, you're wet again. It doesn't even matter. Don't even get me started on the gnats. Anyway, I'm outside, walking around and looking at the pretty moonlight, and I hear children playing in the forest.
Whoa, okay.
And I was like, it sent me back for a minute. I think I might have actually been on the phone at the time, and I was like, I think I was talking to someone, and I said, "Hey, hold on a second." And I put the phone down, and I was like, did I hear what I thought I heard? And it came again, and then it came from real close over here, and then farther away over here. And it literally sounded like children playing in the middle of the forest in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
It's a coyote. It was two coyotes, two female coyotes on either side of me, because she lives out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
And like 42 acres of pine barrens, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm out in the middle of nowhere in the dark,
right.
listening to these, what sound like elementary school kids playing in the forest. And I was like, that's a really weird sound. I'm going to go back inside.
Yeah. Believe it.
Like, I talked to my brother-in-law, and he's like, oh yeah, that's the coyotes. I thought they howled. He's like, yeah, they do sometimes, but sometimes to make that really creepy noise. I was like, yeah. Have you ever heard anything like that?
I've never heard of a coyote, but I remember I took my wife camping for the second time off the grid, and there was a fox out there. And so have you ever heard the song, What Does the Fox Say?
Yeah. They make a near.
They don't sound like that. They sound like a woman being strangled.
Yeah.
So she's jumping up, trying to wake me up. I'm out. I'm good. I'm out there sleeping, right? I'm asleep, right? She's out there looking for the shotgun, trying to wake me up. I'm like, what are you doing? What is that noise? It's a fox. Stop, man. Funny story, but I'll tell you what.
It does. It sounds like somebody's killing a woman in their backyard.
I tell you what, man. I heard that. So she woke me up, and I was like, no, it's okay. It's just the fox. And I hear it making that noise, and I hear it trailing off, right? And then all of a sudden I hear, and I don't hear that fox noise no more. So I don't know, like he must have headed into the woods somewhere deep enough and came across somebody's land or something like that. Probably going after their chickens or whatever, whatnot, and met and met 2.223 rounds in his head when he was trying to get on that. Some good old boy with a night vision scope camped out on his back porch with half a case doing his job. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
So now imagine, right? Imagine going back in the day. I'm talking back in the day, right? And we got two sharp sticks and a rock tied to another stick, right? You know what I mean? And then and here we are, man. Night raids must have been terrifying back then, right? Terrifying, right?
Because I mean, all you got is a campfire.
That's it.
Or as big of a fire as you can build, probably.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's all you got, man. And even then, like you're just giving your position away, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
so that's why, and most of them lived in caves.
Yeah. So.
And that's why they did the caves, because you could it was one defensible entrance.
Yeah, that's a good point right there. Have to be like that, right? But yeah, dude, man.
Yeah, because otherwise you're done.
Yeah, you're cooked.
You're out in the open. You're done.
Yeah, you're cooked, man. No horses back there. Nowhere. I mean, and your cardio must have had to been amazing. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no getting tired, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't know that you either lived long enough to have a heart attack, or were still enough to get fat.
Yeah. So, like I'm saying, man, like, and you had to go 100-0. There ain't no 99-1. You know what I'm saying? Like you had to go undefeated, right?
Yeah.
A broken leg would kill you. An infection would kill you, man. So, yeah, it's good points, man. That's good points. Well, all right, Jay. Well, we've hit our time limit for tonight, man. So, if you've stuck around this long, think about giving us a like and a subscribe. We're at like 428 subscribers. I've told you guys before, our goal is to hit 1,000. Then we'll 10K it to 10,000, then 100,000, then 1 million. And then me and Jay and Rooster will act like we don't know y'all. We don't know y'all. See, don't talk to us. Don't talk to us, man. We're big timing. Right. I don't care what you do to the bell. Rooster would tell you, hit that bell, hit that bell, hit that bell. I don't give a shit what you do with that bell, man. But hit that subscribe button and then forget about us, all right? So,
all right.
Jay, you got anything else?
Have a good one. No, I'm good, man. All
right. Well, everybody, thanks for watching, and tune in next Monday when we talk about some other off-the-wall random stuff that will be great. All right. Peace.
Have a good one.
Subscribe now and turn on the notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.